spread awareness, man.
Yeah, but I'm going to show you. I'm trying to teach. I'm trying to really teach and find teach all these other nations what their judgment is, what's going to happen to them, okay? And also teach our people to come back to the Lord, the Heavenly Father, because that's the reason we're in the position that we're in right now. The reason we went to slavery is so we disobeyed the Most High. But I just want to show you what I'm talking about us being scattered, okay? Because like I said, it could be
Has everything. It's the truth. That is what's happening in the world right now.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. You know what I'm saying? And the more you're opening your mouth, the more I'm thinking you might be one of us. You know? Who knows? This is Deuteronomy 28, verse 64. And among these nations shalt thou find, Salaki, I'll start at verse 64. Deuteronomy 28, verse 64. Okay? And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people from the one end of the earth even unto the other. And there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone. And among these nations shalt thou find no ease, neither shall the sole of thy foot have rest, but the Lord shall give thee their trembling heart and failing of eyes and sorrow of mind. All right, so we would be scattered among all these different nations. You understand what I'm saying? So if a so-called, let's say if I have a girlfriend and she's a so-called white woman, right? And I have a kid, my kid's gonna come out looking lighter, right? His hair is gonna be a little less kinky and all that. Now if he goes and has sex with another white woman, his kid, it's the same cycle. It's going to be even more and more and more. Right now, the third generation or the fourth generation, my grandson's going to look like a so-called white, right? But really, he's an Israelite. You understand what I'm trying to say? So the judgment that's coming for Esau, the Edomites, which are the so-called white people, their true biblical nationality is Edomites. Okay, the judgment that's coming for them is not going to apply to my great grandson. You understand? He's going to get the same blessing as us. You understand what I'm saying to you? Right? Well, that's what's going to happen. Okay, because even the Israelites that don't look like Israelites on this side, when it comes time when we go to the kingdom of heaven, they're going to get back their melanin. They're going to get this the brown pigmentation. They're going to get that. They ain't going to burn in the sun. They don't need sun kind lotion. Okay, they're not going to need it. Okay, because they're going to have that melanin. They're going to have that royal look. All right, that's what's going to happen. Okay, so that's what I mean by it's not really about color. It's not about color, but the thing is that it's not about your look or your color, but that's an indicator. That's an indicator of what you could be. You understand what I'm trying to say? Right. So that's what I'm trying to show you. Yeah, but no problem, man. Go do your thing, man. I just want to show you that, man. All right, man. You take care, man. Take care. You might be an Israelite, man. You might be an Israelite. All right. So that's it, man. You know, he was receptive to the scriptures. You know, and this is the filter. All right, this is the filter. We filter everything through the Bible. All right, we filter everything through the Bible. This is Romans 8 and 16. Right. You know, and that's why a lot of these other camps they don't really mess with they don't like GMS because GMS speaks the whole truth, man. Right? We're not trying to please either side. We're not trying to please the so-called Israelite community. All right, and we're not trying to please the world either. Okay, we're just telling you the straight truth. All right? There is going to be Israelites that look like Edomites, man. There is going to be Israelites that look like Moabites and Elamites and all these different nations. Okay? Why? Because we were scattered amongst these different nations, man. It's common sense. And in the lineage, who you are, your nationality, is only determined by your father. It's not determined by your mother. All right? That can only alter your features. All right? So let me get Romans 8 and 16. All right? This is Romans 8 verse 16. The Spirit itself beareth witness with our spirit that we are the children of the Most High. All right? So it's the Spirit that determines that, man. It's not determined by how pale you are, man. All right? Or how dark you are. It's not determined by that. Okay? Although there is a prototype look for an Israelite, right? But we got to deal with this. We got to deal with the scriptures say, because the scriptures say that He's going to gather the Israelites from all these different countries and all these different areas. All right, they're going to come out looking like these different people. All right, this is Isaiah 11 verse 11. And you're never going to get this in the church, man. The church is never going to teach you this, man. The church is never going to go into the fact of what's going to happen in the last time with the deliverance, man. They're not going to go into the Isaiah 11 and 11. They're not going to go into Isaiah 66. Okay? Because they don't understand this book. All right? This is Isaiah 11 verse 11, man. And it reads, And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people. All right? And the first time was in what? In Egypt. All right? He recovered us from Egypt. All right? Out of the hands of the Egyptians. Now the second time, he's going to recover us out of the hands of the so-called white man, these Edomites. All right? That's going to be the second deliverance. Okay? Remnant of his people. All right? Which shall be left. That the Lord shall set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria and from Egypt and from Pathros and from Cush and from Elam and from Shinar and from Hamath and from the islands of the sea. All right, so the Israelites are going to be scattered amongst all these different nations. All right, it said Elam. We know the Elamites is a different nation from the Israelites, but the Israelites are scattered amongst them. All right, that's why I told that young guy. He said what? He asked me, okay, is it only so-called white people? I had to say, listen, the so-called white man is the Edomites according to the Bible, okay? But we have Israelites that look like so-called white people. We have Israelites that look like all nations on the planet Earth, all right? So it's not determined by your looks, but by your spirit. And that's the truth, okay? And he shall set up an ensign for the nations, and shall assemble the outcasts of Israel, and gather together the dispersed of Judah from the four corners of the earth. All right, so we know that's talking about the Israelites. All right, when it said Hamath and Elam, it was talking about the Israelites being delivered from these different areas, man. It wasn't talking about these other nations. Okay. So when you go into the parable, when you go to the Gentiles being delivered, it's talking about these type of Israelites who lost their way. Okay, or Israelites who were scattered amongst these different nations. Okay, it's not talking about actual Gentiles. It's not talking about actual heathens, because there was no time when the Most High was ever dealing with heathens, man. All right. Matter of fact, there's a law where certain heathens could never ever enter into the congregation, man. Namely, those the Moabites, which are the so-called Chinese today, man. All right, and the Japanese. All right, but they were according to the Bible, they were never allowed to enter to the congregation, even until the 10th generation, which means forever. All right, that's what it means. Okay. And by the way, that's a racist statement. Let me get that as a matter of fact. Deuteronomy 23. Okay. This is Deuteronomy 23. Deuteronomy 23, verse 3. It says, an Ammonite or a Moabite shall not enter into the congregation of the Lord even to their 10th generation. Shall they not enter into the congregation of the Lord forever. All right? So that just excludes two races of people, man. All right? Two nations of people right there. Okay? It said the Moabites and the Ammonites shall not enter into the kingdom, into the congregation until the 10th generation, even forever. All right? So we know for a fact that the Most High is not dealing with all nations, man. Because you would have to answer that. All right? It said forever. All right? So it includes everyone except for the Moabites and the Ammonites? Of course not. All right? The Most High is not letting in any heathen, man. The only one that's coming into this are the Israelites, man. All right? Namely the elected of the nation of Israel. Okay? So these people trying to fit all these different nations into this, they're really going against the Most High. Because the Most High was never dealing with these other nations. The Most High was only dealing with the Israelites, man. And it's always been that way, and it's always going to be that way. Okay? Even in the kingdom of heaven. Because in the kingdom of heaven, these other nations ain't going to be equal with us, man. All right? These other nations are going to be under our feet, man. All right? Let me get Revelations, the 2nd chapter. Revelations. This is Revelations 2, verse 25. All right. But that which he had already, hold fast till I come. And he that overcometh, right? And now he's talking to a church, right, of Israelites, all right? A church of Israelites. He's not talking to a church of Moabites, a church of Ammonites, a church of Elamites. This is still a church of Israelites, okay? And what does the Lord say? This is the Lord speaking, by the way. And this is what he says, okay? And he that overcometh and keepeth my works unto the end, to him will I give power over the nations. And he shall rule them with a rod of iron. All right, so you're going to get power over the nations, right? And rule them with a rod of iron. Okay? Which means you're going to be cruel to them, man. All right? You're going to go hard on them. You ain't going to go soft. And you're not going to take it easy on these heathens. That's what it's saying. All right? And he shall rule them with a rod of iron, as the vessels of a potter shall they be broken to shivers, even as I receive of my Father. All right, so that's it, man. So the Most High has bestowed that onto the Lord, and the Lord bestowed that onto the elect of the nation of Israel, and eventually all the nation of Israel will have that. Okay. That's why it says to him that overcometh, because the first ones that are going to get it are the ones who overcome, the ones who are of the elect. Those are the first ones who are going to get that blessing. All right? And that's a blessing, man. To bash these Edomites